Right, let's just jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a genuinely fascinating piece called AI and the Illusion of the End of Work. We're drawing entirely on the insights of its author, Marianis Pereira. She's got over 40 years, yeah, 4 decades of experience mentoring and consulting in neurobusiness, emotional intelligence, and AI. So she brings us perspective that's basically guaranteed to shift how you view the future of your career and, honestly, your whole life. She makes this compelling case that the rapid rise of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, well, it isn't the end of our purpose. Actually, scratch that. It's far from it. It's actually a profound new beginning. Okay, so we've got to start with this massive, looming question. It's the ultimate existential dilemma, one that futurist Peter Diamandis really put at the center of the global debate. When machines can eventually perform literally any cognitive or physical task far better than we ever could, what exactly is left for humanity? I mean, really think about that for a second. If AGI steps in and just handles the whole daily grind of survival, what happens to our drive? Like, what actually gets us out of bed in the morning? Section 1, The Illusion of the End, Redefining Free Time in the Age of AGI. You know, there is this incredibly stark contrast we're facing right now. On one hand, you've got the modern executive's absolute nightmare, traditional retirement. Pereira points out that for a lot of highly successful founders, stepping away feels almost like a death in life. It's this sudden, terrifying void where they realize, wait, I don't actually have any hobbies. But then, look at the other side of the coin. The ancient Greeks had this beautiful, profound concept called skole. And skole, well, it was never just about passivity or sitting around twiddling your thumbs. It meant absolute freedom from basic survival tasks, specifically so you could dedicate yourself to the intellect, to art, to cultivating your spirit and building a higher legacy. Diamandis is spot on that AI frees us from repetitive effort, but the massive trap we fall into is thinking that freedom just equals doing nothing. Section 2, The Leader's Dilemma, the Visceral Fear of Stepping Down. In Portuguese, there is actually a super graphic phrase for this exact struggle, largar o osso, which literally translates to letting go of the bone. For someone who has spent literally decades giving their blood, sweat, and tears to build an empire, the hardest part of aging isn't the money, no way. It's white-knuckling that operational control, simply because they viscerally level do not know who they are without their exhausting daily routines. They just can't let go of the bone. Section 3, The Succession Crisis, How Holding On Destroys the Legacy. So what is the actual cost of holding on so tightly? Well, consider the numbers compiled by Subre and various corporate governance institutes because they are pretty eye-opening. Survival rates of family businesses obviously start at a solid 100% in the first generation. But then, they completely plummet to 30% in the second generation and to a frankly shocking 5% by the third. And the primary cause of this huge drop-off? It isn't about economy. It's not financial mismanagement. It is entirely the dependence on the centralized mind of the creator. It's the founder's absolute inability to let go, which directly leads to leadership atrophy in the younger generation. The founder basically fails to transfer their subtle, hard-earned intellectual capital before they step away, and the whole thing just crumbles. Moving on to Section 4, The Role of AI, From Operational Tool to Dynamic Mentor. This is where things get really exciting, because we need to completely redefine how we view AI in leadership. It isn't just some basic tool to crunch spreadsheets or write your emails a little bit faster. As Pereira details, we should actually be building systems of what she calls cognitive preservation. Just imagine it, an AI acting as a dynamic, living mirror of your accumulated wisdom. It maps your unique decision-making logic, your specific history, and the very core essence of your company's culture. It's basically a digital brain trust. And the real magic here is that a well-trained AI ecosystem shouldn't just be spoon-feeding simplistic solutions to the next generation of leaders. I mean, that would just be a crutch, right? Instead, it steps up to become a true mentor. It provokes critical thinking. It actively recalls the founding ethical principles. Most importantly, it asks the right questions, forcing the heirs and young executives to figure out the answers themselves and develop their own emotional intelligence. The founder's brilliant thought process gets to live on, but without them having to exhaust themselves in the daily grind of operations. Section 5, The 3 Pillars of Transition, a Framework for Augmented Intelligence. Now, if you want to pull off a successful transition, and this applies whether we're talking about a massive multinational company or just your own small business, it relies heavily on 3 fundamental pillars. First up is cognitive engineering. That's what we just talked about, mapping the founder's reasoning into those dynamic AI mentoring systems. Second, we have emotional intelligence and neurobusiness. This is the crucial psychological preparation so the founder can smoothly transition from being an executor to a curator, all while building up resilience in the heirs. And the third pillar? Health optimization, implementing strict protocols to preserve your physical and mental vitality so that the senior leader actually has the energy to, enjoy this new phase of life. Let's just pause on that third pillar for a second, because health is absolutely 100% non-negotiable here. As the renowned neuroscientist Antonio Damasio proved with his theory of somatic markers, your intuition, your very ability to make great, impactful decisions, is intrinsically linked to your bodily signals. Your brain relies entirely on a healthy physical body to maintain the neuroplasticity, the emotional stability, and the clear judgment required for elite decision-making. Simply put, a brilliant mind just cannot sustain a lasting legacy inside a debilitated body. And this is where both history and modern futurists are waving a giant red flag. They warn us of this massive trap if AI takes over all the heavy lifting and you don't intentionally cultivate a method for your own personal development, you fall straight into the trap of bread and circuses. We're talking technological passivity, scrolling through futile entertainment, and ultimately rapid cognitive decline. True high performance in this new era requires healthy longevity. It requires actively, intentionally managing your physical health so you actually have the baseline energy to use AI to maximize your free time, pick up hobbies, study, travel, and act as a strong, guiding presence for your family and your company. Section 6. From Operator to Curator. Elevating your role in the post-AGI era. As Pereira so powerfully puts it, letting go of the daily grind is absolutely not a surrender of your value. It's not a loss at all. It is quite literally a promotion. Remember largar osso? Letting go of the bone means stepping up. You elevate from being a mere operator stuck in the weeds of your own business to becoming the ultimate curator, the creator of a lasting legacy. You use augmented intelligence to amplify your own hard-earned wisdom. Which leaves us with this incredibly powerful closing thought, directly inspired by Marinés Pereira's 4 decades of insight. The 21st century is offering us this totally unprecedented chance to unite healthy longevity, cutting-edge AGI, and deep existential wisdom. The technology is finally ready to preserve your cognitive capital. But, and this is the kicker, the choice of how to elevate your legacy is entirely in your hands. So ask yourself, when AI inevitably frees up your time, will you just fade into passivity? Or will you use that freedom to curate the absolute ultimate legacy of your life's work? A massive thank you to Marinés Pereira for authoring the profound article that fueled today's explainer. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.